potential.
What show are you talking about, Miss Angry Soccer Mom?
The HBO show that I don't even know the name of.
A Black Lady Sketch Show.
Oh, that's what it's called?
Yes, a Black Lady Sketch Show.
Oh, okay.
It's amazing. Like I ran up on it by accident. I didn't even know because we don't have TV.
Yeah, we don't have it
We,
either.
we have like the boxes and then
Yep. Us too.
right. So we don't have TV. Cable, like I said, our bill was going up $300, $400, and half of it we wasn't even watching.
We got
So
rid of it a long time ago too. Yeah.
right. So like we were talking earlier, first of all, hi everybody. You want to start off and say hello to everybody because it's kind of rude for you
Oh.
to just start talking.
I'm like, we'll just start talking. Yes. Okay, I'll do my intro. Fine.
Please.
I'm like, we were talking. I'm not going to interrupt. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom and Anastasia.
Hello.
My badass woman friend here. Today's how's your hand, by the way? How's your hand?
So it's all right. As you can see, my little digit right here is still kind of, you see that? Bam.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah.
My digit got a booty. Look at it. Bam. My pinky got a BBL. Look at that. Bam. Let's look at
I
the
know what
other
that
finger.
is. I know what that is now.
Bam. Look at this one. Look.
Oh,
bam.
wow. Oh, when you line it up. Hey, T's
hey, T. My pinky finger.
I can see it.
My pinky finger got a BBL. That's crazy. Look.
Marco.
Hey. It still hurts. I'm supposed to have my splint on.
Can you do
no, not all the way.
Yeah.
Oh, so we got to talk about that. We didn't even talk about. Oh my God, it was bananas. It was bananas.
The hand thing, the bad
No,
guy?
we went to court. Went to court.
I didn't know that. Okay. Can you start a little bit all over in case people are watching that didn't know?
Okay.
Just a little bit. Just
a little bit. Protesting, white guy yelled at, he got, dealt with.
Screamed in her face, went crazy, and she dared, sorry, I'm like taking over. She dared to he slapped her hand out of the way and pretty much like.
He did. And I feared for my life and I defended myself. I was intimidated and I was just like, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? We didn't know whether he had a weapon or anything. And, I stood my ground.
I'm hearing you.
And defended my castle.
You know what? You sound almost like what police say when they just like.
What?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I hear some familiarity that I've heard before.
Oh, shame. So we went to court. I was there like a half an hour early because I was like,
did you see him?
Yeah, I seen him. I seen him. So he's in there. I'm in there with my legal counsel.
Oh,
because I know I don't play those games. Because there's no justice. It's just us.
Yeah.
So I had my legal counsel with me.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I did. What ended up happening is I came in there with my legal counsel. He came in there by himself. Yo, the dude had a warrant for his arrest and got arrested in the courtroom.
Oh my God.
You hear what I said?
I heard what you said.
He got arrested in the courtroom. And
he showed up and he didn't know he had a friggin' warrant out for him?
He had a warrant out for something. The dude has been a habitual line stepper and criminal since 1993.
He's a bad man.
I don't know where you was in 1993, but I was graduating high school. Exactly.
I don't know.
I'm old. He's been committing crimes since Belle Biv DeVoe was out.
And he just keeps letting him. They let him out.
Right. Exactly. So he got arrested, and there's this box that he was in. He got put in the corner. He got put in time out.
Bad boy chair or whatever.
He got put in time out, right? And what ended up happening is the whole time he was like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I can't believe it.
Like, bullshit. You can't do it 90th time.
Right. I'm like, he is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I was like, he belongs where he's at. And so then we came up there, right? And so he's like, I want to press charges for simple assault on her. I want to press charges on simple assault on her.
Oh my God.
Like, I just looked at my lawyer like, okay. And then so we have another court date in May because so we can subpoena witnesses and stuff like that because he got arrested that day.
Mm-hmm.
He got arrested that day
for something else.
On another charge that has nothing to, I think he assaulted somebody else.
Oh.
And so, yeah, that's where we're at right now.
I want to be a witness. I saw the video.
Yeah, the thing about it is, like I said, he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And I don't know what his problem is. You know, that's not my problem.
Why does he keep getting out? How does that work? Do you know?
You said what?
How does he keep getting out? Like how many things do you get to do?
I have no idea what that, like, he's a known criminal. That's what I'm saying. He is an actual thug.
Yeah.
So, and he didn't have a lawyer or whatever. So they said they was going to provide him with a lawyer because it's something wrong with him. It really is something
clearly,
wrong.
Yes.
Clearly. And it looks like he has papers, you know, because my PTSD was acting up. I literally thought I was back in Iraq and Charlie was in The Wire and I got papers. So I don't, you know, I don't know what his issue is, but that's what happens.
Papers mean? Can you teach me? I'm not sure.
It's a joke. It's really a joke. So you got crazy people that don't have paperwork saying they crazy.
Oh.
But then you have crazy people like myself where there's papers, it's documented.
You're not mental illness. You're just
no. I'm joking.
You're just joking about mental illness. You're making it
not what I'm talking about. Yeah. Honestly, I'm joking. Yeah. I'm not. I'm sorry. I am a proponent of mental health and mental hygiene.
I know you are. You know what?
I really am. I go to my therapist.
Point where you got to be able to joke about it because it's
right. I go to my therapist. Right. I go to my therapist.
Hi, Crystal.
Every week. That's my bestie from high school.
I remember.
Let me tell you about Crystal. Anytime she talks about me, she talks about how I used to fight in high school. Every year of high school. No, straight up.
Thanks for nothing, lady.
Yeah, exactly. Every year of high school, I was suspended for fighting.
Really?
Every year.
But I use my power. I don't understand.
I know. Every year of high school, I was suspended, right? LaDonna knows about my fighting habit too.
Hi, LaDonna. So wait, we can make this show about you because I want to.
No.
You guys.
So, no.
So, putting the number up.
I don't want people to think I'm inherently violent. So
you're such a sweetheart. Stop.
Right. Crystal met me in high school and I was short and people used to pick on me. I never started fights, never, but I always ended them. They used to make fun of me because I was from New York. I had an accent, all kinds of stuff like that. And so I used to have to put them pause on them to show them that I'm not playing with
pause, you. Like in stop or these things?
Like these. Pause. No, I didn't scratch like that. We fisticuffs.
You said pause.
So we fisticuffs. And so what would happen is people would think I was short. They would mess with me. They would pick on me. They would bully me. And I would tell them, leave me alone. Leave me alone. And once I tell you 3 times to leave me alone, I stop talking. And that's it. It's going to be you, me hitting you, and you hitting the ground. That's it. That is it. I'm not about all of these.
Sweetheart, I don't even see this.
I'm not about all this talking. I'm not about all this. At that point, I was too short to be talking.
Are you tiny? I'm
5'5", but I'm saying when I was that age, I was only like 5'2", 5'3". I grew. I started getting taller as I got older. But I don't have no time to be talking to you. You know what I'm saying? It's we gonna fight or what?
If you're being picked on, really?
Yeah. Hey,
Hi,
Bobby.
welcome, welcome, welcome. She's
So,
telling us about her past, and her
but
friends gonna join in, right?
my friends and my family know that like I used to be scrapping every day because people would pick on me, you
That's
know?
terrible. That's a
Yeah.
terrible way to live.
Yeah. And said warnings, and then LaDonna driving back on post trying to figure out what happened. Exactly. Exactly. We trying to figure out what's going on. But I'm Mahako, I am great actually. We about to get into it. My life is a joke. Like I'm an atheist, but I think my life is a joke to whatever deity is in charge of this thing. And we about to get into how my life is a joke.
So this guy's
Really,
chart. This came up because this guy's going to try to sue you back.
he wants them to arrest me for simple assault. Yeah, no, for real.
But
That's
can
what
he
he
do
wants.
that?
I mean, he can do whatever he wants. He has to have proof. He can do whatever he wants, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not even, yeah, he's trying to have me for simple assault. I don't know what his
So you
problem
can't
is.
defend yourself. That's against the law to defend yourself.
I mean, I don't know. I
Wow.
I
Okay.
I don't know. He's a white man. They can do
Right.
anything they want.
With
You know
a
what I'm saying?
long,
Let's
long rap sheet.
think about it this way. Stand your ground law. Stand your ground law. One guy assaulted the black man and his girlfriend. The black man defended himself. The white man shot this man as the black man was backing up. They didn't even arrest the dude. Remember that?
Yeah. See. Yeah. So okay. So yeah. No, you're realistic.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not crazy.
yeah, Mahako. If you, absolutely, let us know what we can do. Like, let
Thank you.
us
Thank you.
know. Oh my God,
Yeah.
please.
I'm not crazy to think that how many times have you seen black women, black men minding their business? A white person comes and assaults them, whether it's verbally or physically, and they pull a black person back or say,
Oh,
well, you
absolutely.
shouldn't let these people get at you. What the hell are you talking about?
Anastasia, I've seen multiple, just scores of cases where the actual black person is the one being harmed. They call the police and they get arrested for the love of fucking God. I mean, it's like sick.
Thank you.
So no, absolutely, absolutely.
And
Oh,
so
this
the
is
thing
scary.
about it is I'm not one of those. And see, a lot of people say I'm not my ancestors. So I'm not my ancestors in we don't have the courage our ancestors had. We don't. White or black or Asian or Hispanic. We are big punks in consideration of our ancestors. So when people wear these shirts, I'm not my ancestors, you're not, because with the what you got going on, you wouldn't make it. You would
Right,
not make it
right,
because
right.
they were killing folks, stringing people up, and
Mhm,
nothing would happen.
mhm,
So with me, I know that I have to be grounded. And when that man attacked me,
mhm.
I was not in my security mode. I wasn't. And to be totally honest, I have never had anybody try to lunge at me. Like that was the first time
Yeah,
that,
no.
and that's crazy because
Mhm,
I was security for Black Lives Matter, right?
mhm.
I have never had anybody lunge at me like he did.
Yeah,
You know
no.
what I'm
He
saying?
was he went after you.
And so when this man lunged at me like he did,
Mhm.
my first reaction is that'll be the last time you do that
Right.
to me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
And the sad thing about it is with white men, they're so much of a coward. My husband was in his face, which is another white man.
Mhm,
My friend Kevin, black man, was standing right there in his
mhm,
face. A
mhm,
white woman, a supporter, ally, accomplice, Jackie, was
mhm.
right there. He went after me.
Right.
Why? Why? Because that's what white men do. They go after kids and women because they think we can't defend ourselves. The white man that we had a march in
They're
Mississippi.
cowards. They're being
Right.
cowards, basically. I mean, I hate to say
Exactly.
it, but it's true.
We had a march in Mississippi. This white man Mind you, we're minding our business marching, right? We had security, we had road guards. This white man pulled up on his motorcycle and tried to point a gun at Black women, children, and the elderly.
Oh my God.
I turned my back on him to protect everybody else, because you're gonna do what you're gonna do. My life insurance is paid. My kids are gonna get free college. I'm good.
Anesthesia. Oh, it scares me. People
No. This is the thing. You can't.
I hear you.
Listen, you can't be scared doing this. You can't be a punk. If you listen, Huey P. Newton said, a revolutionary is a doomed man. Everybody that walks down this path knows what they're going into. We don't have to know what happens when you're fighting against white supremacy, capitalism. We know. So you either be, I'm not saying you're a punk because you don't do certain things, but understand, if you're not willing to die for the people, close your mouth about liberty, and freedom. Period. I've accepted. Now, this is my thing. Now, if I could go to another country, I could go over there killing other people that look like me, Asian people that look like me, brown people that look like me, and everybody else say I'm a hero, right?
Yeah,
if
think
I
about
want to go to another country,
Yep.
and LaDonna knows what I'm talking about.
Yep, you're a hero.
I'm a hero if I go over there. But if I die over here fighting the same things and worse, what am I called? An agitator, a terrorist, a communist. Do you know, I don't know if a lot of people out there know that Martin Luther King, when he was murdered, 65% of white people said he caused his own death. 35% of Black people said the same thing.
He dared to speak out and to do the right thing and to be. Yeah, it's
so,
yeah. I hear you.
I have accepted that if I'm in a certain position, that it may happen. You know what I'm saying? But this is the thing. I could be killed in my car. I could be killed in my bed. I could be killed going to the police. I could get killed coming from the police. I could get killed for laughing. I could get killed for swimming. I could get killed for playing music.
For existing.
Right? No, not even resisting.
I said existing. Existing.
Yeah. Right. I could be killed
in your existence. Yeah.
Exactly. I could be killed for looking at a cop. I could be killed for not looking at a cop. I could be killed for having a coat on. I can be killed for not having a coat on. What's up, baby? So if I'm gonna die, I want to go out fighting. Period.
Absolutely.
Period. It's a poem by Claude McKay. It's called "If We Must Die." If we must die, let us not die like hogs in a pen. I'm not gonna die like that. I'm sorry.
No.
Sorry, not gonna happen.
I absolutely understand.
Can I ask you something? I'm gonna say this, and this is, I'm gonna be quiet.
No, you don't have to be quiet.
I'm an atheist, but I have a degree, a bachelor's degree in pastoral studies and youth ministry. And they all tell us we want to be like Christ. Be like Christ. Well, what did Christ do? He died for the people.
He died for the people, yeah.
He died for the people. He understood. He knew what was going to happen. In the Garden of Gethsemane, he prayed so hard that blood came from him. He asked for this cup to be taken from me. And it wasn't. And guess what he did? So if you're saying we have all these Negro spirituals about I'm going up to my Lord, it's going to be better when I get there, what am I afraid of? I'm not afraid of anything. Because isn't it better? Why wouldn't I want to be with Jesus? Because according to what I was told, it's better up there, right? Okay, well, roger that.
Interesting. Thank you for yeah. So this is I cannot imagine what a scary experience it's been for you. Just dealing with this creepy, bringing back this bad memories and bad like feelings, and he's a
I mean,
creepy man.
honestly, it's not. It's really not. It's really not. You know that, right? Like
Well,
the
you said
fact.
it brought up some PTSD type feelings and like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But that's the fight or flight
mhm,
type of situation
mhm,
where it's a reaction. It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not
yeah,
something that you think about. It's a fight or flight,
right, right, it
and I'm
happens.
not fighting nowhere. I don't have that in me to fight. Let me tell you something. So my husband knows when my PTSD acts up because I'll wake up in the middle of the night or have these lucid dreams and stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
right? So last night, I guess something was on TV and I just sat up and was like, he was like, "You're okay. You're safe.
Oh,
Don't worry about it." But in that moment, I didn't know who he was. I didn't know where I was. And before, I've actually attacked him or backed away from him fighting. So the thing about it is, a lot of people think that when you have PTSD, you just, it's not like that. It's things that trigger you and then you go into that mode. And if you don't go to mental health or get help, you won't know how to deal with it. And your family won't know how to deal with it. So he knows I was overstimulated because I had been to the court twice
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
stuff like that.
Oh, that's great. So you're good with her. You're good with her. That's great.
Yeah, he because
Oh,
yeah, he
hi,
knows.
Dan. Yeah.
He knows because before, like when I was doing Black Lives Matter Mississippi, we didn't have guns in the house, but we had weapons in the house.
Mhm.
And one was by the bed.
Oh,
So
really?
he had to wait, yeah. Like I had a tomahawk, like a big real tomahawk.
Mhm.
And he had to get to me before I went to the tomahawk. You know what I'm saying? Hey, how you, Diane?
Hi,
And so,
Diane.
yeah,
Yeah,
we don't keep weapons in the house anymore,
yeah.
especially not near me, because I could wake up and not know where I'm at
Mhm.
and do something, and it's another situation.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
So that's why I don't play games with certain people. Like, don't play with me like that.
Mhm. That makes
Don't scare me. Don't say certain things because I'll just be like, what? So, but anyway, let's move on to happier things.
oh, this won't be happier. The show tonight. Oh my God. No, thank you so much for sharing. That's very
Of
personal,
course.
and that's what we're here. Real talk isn't just like called real talk. We want to actually keep it real. So,
Right,
um,
of course.
and so I already did my intro a while. Well, I actually really didn't. Tonight's
You
show,
didn't.
I didn't. I was thinking about it. Does that count? Tonight's show
It
is for
could.
beginners. Is for like really, really like not the first part, but um. Oh my gosh, let me read this. Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Yep, yep, yep. Absolutely.
So LaDonna pointed at anxiety and panic attacks, right?
Hmm.
So with me, right, to get not to bring it back, but
That's fine.
he can tell when I don't know where I'm at or where it's just wow.
Hmm.
Because what happened is I have a blank face and I'll just look around and like I've literally been in a car with him and don't know where I'm at, don't know who he is. And it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like it's unjarring because I don't know who this person is.
And you're
So
like, why am I in the car with this person? What's going on? Yeah.
right, my first instinct with him, I mean, with anybody, is to fight my way out. So he has to get to me quick. You're
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Mhm.
You're all right.
Yeah, no, I understand. That makes sense.
So and with LaDonna, like I have TBI as well. So I have memory loss. So it's not just
You have
PTSD.
traumatic brain injury from
Yes. Yes,
serving?
yes, I have traumatic, traumatic
Oh, I
brain
didn't know that.
injury.
I'm sorry. That's
I know,
terrible.
you can't tell, right? That's why people tell you not all scars are on the outside.
Well, absolutely. No, I know a ton about mental illness, sad to say. I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, Talonda, yes, I do remember the episodes. I do remember. I can remember at the point where I forgot where I was at. And I'll be like, okay, I'm here. Like sometimes I used to get lost going home and I only had a 10-minute ride home. So I would
Mhm.
have to, put things in order and just remember certain things. I would
So
be at
you're not
the
having a conversion disorder. You're having it's a very
right,
intense panic attack. Because a conversion disorder is a whole nother ballgame.
right. And
I got you.
so, right, what would happen is I would be driving.
Mhm.
And just imagine driving a car and you don't know where you're going. You don't know how you got there. And it's like, okay. Or, I was a senior NCO. I would be giving PT. Right. Giving
Mhm.
PT. Now imagine I'm in front of all these people and I don't know who these people are. I don't know why I'm there. I don't know what I'm doing. So
Mhm.
I had to, fake it until I make it. I would stand
Mhm.
up there and I would make extended pauses
Mhm.
to where they wouldn't even know that I'd completely wigged out in my
Mhm.
head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
you
so,
compensated for it. Yeah, that makes sense.
right, right. Come on,
Mm.
let's talk about something happy.
Okay, let's move on. I will say welcome, if I hadn't said it already, to everybody. The show is meant to be include any subject matter you feel is newsworthy about anti-racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption. And it's also kind of an opportunity for viewers to speak their mind, for us to speak our mind, and it should be an educational tool in cultural competency, but it also needs to be cathartic. And that means some of us don't have anyone to talk to about this. Some of us live in sundown towns. Some of us don't have people who give a shit. Some of us do, some of us don't. So when people say, "Oh, it's a bitch session," well, you know what? Welcome to. Sorry, it is what it is. It's what we need. It's whatever the community needs at the time. Um, and so we don't have to go on script per se, um, because
We
this is
ever?
real talk. No, well, no, but I try. I try. If you want to call in tonight, I can put the number back up here again, maybe. Tonight's going to be kind of a short show. I want to thank everybody for who sends me breaking news. And if you want to say hi privately, that's my little place you can say hi privately. If you can figure out how to text or how to get to me, which I really don't know, I can't tell you because I never tried. But everyone seems to do it. And tonight's show, actually, is we're going to talk about. It's for this is probably one of the most fundamental shows we've done. For our topics. Not what you were talking about was rather intense, but we're going to start out with a strong retort that we got from state senator. Now she's a state senator, but boy,
Mhm.
she just made the papers. Mallory McMorrow, who was um, described by opponents, the GOP, as someone who wanted to groom and sexualize kindergartners. And we all know that's where they go. And we're not going to get tonight. We're not going to really get into that because we don't want to advertise for them. But um, today's topic is what can everyday people do to help unite with those who believe in equity and justice for all. And so we have an opening video. If you haven't seen this video, I thought this was a really great video for beginners, to this topic. White folks. Obviously, I speak to white folks. I don't teach Black, brown, indigenous people of mixed heritage. No, 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 no. No, they teach me. I mean, if I learned from them by listening, and we'll get into that. But this woman, I thought, did a fantastic job to break some stereotypes. Okay.
Mm.
And
Let's
what
do
she
it.
yeah. And you know what? Anybody who's white needs to use we need to use our privilege to do good. And the good is not just for ourselves, okay? Okay? The good is for others, okay? So
Can,
that's kind of absolutely jump in.
can I make a point? So,
Absolutely.
anytime we talk about the civil rights martyrs, and stuff like that, right? And this whole big thing about CRT and not wanting to teach history and whatever. CRT is not history. There's elements of CRT in history. Okay. But when we're talking about non-Black people, okay, we're not going to say marginalized people. I mean, minorities. We are marginalized people, okay? Brown and Black people are not the minority. Globally, we are the majority. So I
They're
always tell you, I
marginalized
think,
humans. Yeah, words matter.
right, right, words matter. So it's just like, I think it's A Bug's Life or something like that, where it was the movie about the grasshoppers and the ants, or ants or something like that. But there was less grasshoppers and more ants. But they convinced the ants that they were weak and all kinds of stuff like that. And the grasshopper said, we have to make sure that we scare them and make them think that they're trash, because if they ever figure out how powerful they are, it's the end of us. This is who we are.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Meaning
That makes sense.
Black, brown, indigenous people, Asian people, whatever the case may be, women, we are the global majority. And it's growing because Europeans or people of European descent are in some country at 0 birth rates.
Right.
So
right,
that
right,
means
absolutely.
there's more of them dying than are being born.
Absolutely.
And what's going to happen soon enough, if these people in this country, because we keep thinking this is just an American thing, globally, far right, fascist, racist people are in office. Bolsonaro,
Yeah,
Duarte,
it's absolutely, it's going back and
global
forth like a
thing.
pendulum. But yeah,
Trumpism isn't just Trump. It's a whole bunch of them doing these things. So at the end of the day, if we don't do something about this and get some courage, I don't know if anybody out here has seen the movie Idiocracy, where it's just a bunch of dumb people because the smart people weren't producing enough babies and passing along their intelligence. It's just going to be a bunch of dumb people putting Gatorade on their crops and wondering why their crops won't grow. Or they have a toilet attached to their lazy boy so they can make number 2 as they're watching movies. I think, what's the name of that Wally? We're gonna be like Wally soon enough. And just to let y'all know, Wally is the bad guy. Just to let y'all know. Oh, no, I forgot my point. See, there that go. What I was trying to get to is that there are so many non-white people that died fighting for civil rights, specifically Black people's rights, because civil rights uplifted everybody. It was nothing specifically for Black people. And James Baldwin says, whatever you do for Black people is going to uplift the entire citizenry.
It's the rising tide theory. Rising tide raises all boats. I think.
Yeah, but if you're drowning, you're not on a boat.
Right.
So that's not necessarily true. Rising tide helps everybody that's in a boat. We're not even in a boat.
But I think that's why a lot of people talk, when they talk about civil and human rights, they talk about Black people in America, because they have an extreme, very different, completely historically different circumstance than anybody else. And so if you go to the people who are being marginalized the most and oppressed the most, then that will help all others. And so that's why a lot of people say, well, what about brown people? What about this? What about that? Well, you see, a lot of people ask me this, at least. They say, well, why are you always Black people this, Black people that? And I said, well, you really want to know? Because they don't really. They don't. It's because,
they don't.
No, they never do. But, I tell them anyway. I try to explain to them that the incredibly unique, historically barbaric. I don't compare people's situations, but if you find the people who have literally, figuratively, I mean, everything been knowingly through our laws kept from accumulating generational wealth, kept from everything that this country could have to offer if only we would just cut this systemic racism crap. They have to understand, and that's when I use the rising tide, because you can't just, I mean, everybody of course should have justice and equity, but that's why I talk about Black people.
Right. And the issue is anytime we get something, it's not just for us.
No, it's a price for everybody.
It's everybody. Mm-hmm. And that's why a lot of people were upset with the Asian hate bill.
Absolutely.
You know,
well,
the women.
A little slap in the face is what it is.
Right. Or the situation that's going on with the Ukrainians. And like we talked about before, I'm not against the Ukrainians. What I'm saying is, what about the Africans, the Haitians, the Latin people from Central America and South America?
Oh, waiting in Mexico right now.
What? And then you know what the thing about it is, the continental Africans and Haitians, you know how they're letting everybody through to those Black people are not even allowed to go through Mexico. They keep them in jails in Mexico.
Yeah, there's white supremacy is everywhere.
Right.
It's everywhere, and it's widespread, and you know, the United States needs to do better. Really, I mean, this cannot be our best. Oh my God.
And the question is, you're getting bombed and attacked and killed, but you still have time for racism. How, Sway?
That's cultural. It's totally cultural. It's, oh my God, it's completely cultural. It's what we white people do, and it's ingrained into our culture. And like, I get, like, a lot of folks are feeling like I'm absolutely, it's horrific. And a lot of people will say, I've had both arguments. I've had people say, oh, it's because they're not brown. Well, absolutely. But it's also because they're fighting for a democratic republic. So we relate, and they're in Europe, and Europe's supposed to be white, and Europe's supposed to be okay and safe. And plus we want to go visit there. Okay. We don't think of them as barbaric. But yeah, there's a lot of shit going on. There's a lot of convoluting crap going on. But
it's a shit sandwich.
Bottom line
this type of shit with a sandwich with whipped cream on it.
The bottom line is that white supremacy is the go-to, is the topic that's always, you can always fall back on. That's the topic that always comes up, and it's because of that. And so it's not that I'm against Ukraine people. Of course I want them to have, but I also I need the systemic racism to stop. It's not right. It's, so I don't think it's as much as like, oh, we think that Chinese people and Asian people should be, hurt. No, it's just like, for the love of God, Black people, some of the very, very first people to ever be here. We just passed a bill that says that, a federal bill saying that lynching's bad. Wow, that's really going on a limb there. It took over 200 tries. And even in this one, there were scores of people who said no. Okay, now a lot of people say it does nothing, and I can get into that, because it actually does.
I'm not. Right. The thing about it is, I get it. What's going on, Simply T? You know, we talking our shit right about now. But
we're not even on topic at all. It's like, whatever.
Right, not on topic. The thing about it, okay, it's illegal to lynch people, right? Mm-hmm. Right. But if the lynchings are always suicides,
right?
And then you got to think about it this way too. Modern day lynchings are not lynching people with a rope. Now, there was a 72-year-old woman.
It can be, but not always. Right.
A 72-year-old woman that was lynched. There was a 16-year-old girl up there in Massachusetts that was lynched.
Yeah. No, we're still doing it. We're still doing
They're
it, but
still doing
it
it.
takes different forms, and right. And the reason that bill was so important, it should have been passed. Oh my God, don't even get me started. Is simply that because we have such a variety of laws in individual states where they can be so racist they'll actually get away with it, and this is like a double. It backs it up that you can always be charged as a federal crime, federal hate crime, and it's pathetic. We have to have that, but we have states' rights, and a lot of states want their rights to be the right to shit on Black people.
Touche.
That's how it goes. So it does do something.
Right.
But
I understand that. And the thing about it is, this is my whole thing about it is, okay, the Asian hate bill, but nobody was talking about any bills when Asians were beating up Black people in these nail shops.
Right.
When?
Yeah.
We have videos after videos. It was this young lady that did a protest in Brooklyn about how in these Asian nail shops they beat up the mother, the grandmother, and the daughter, threw stuff on them. And you know what's so funny? Black women were still going in there. She said they had a Black woman that went in there and just gave them people money and was praying for them. I'm like, are you serious? You had a situation where a Black man was defending Black women. Don't you know they cussed him out and tried to fight him because he busted a window in the Asian shop that had just beat up some Black women? There were Black women waiting to fight them. Me, I have not gotten my nails done, a pedicure, bought any hair since 2018. I will never again patronize those people. And anybody that knows me, LaDonna, Crystal, and T, knew I was weave queen, nails done, hair done. Never again.
Yeah, and part of it is this, and this is kind of a interesting conversation we're having, because I personally, as a white person, pride myself in never using racism to fight racism. That being said, I like to bring it back to white folks, because we white folks in the United States set an example for and allow our laws to push white supremacy. And if we weren't the if we weren't the gatekeepers of systemic racism, with the police, then I think a lot of other people would follow suit, but we are. And so talking and keeping things real is very important. But I always like to bring it back to the reason the people who are Asian are allowed to get away with this is because of white supremacy.
Facts.
Because I don't.
Facts.
And there's a pecking order, but we made up the system.
Yep.
So sorry, I can't blame them. Obviously individually, hell yes.
No. Do you? But understand, because there's some continental Africans and Caribbeans that I'm gonna be like, you go ahead and rest your laurels with them white folks, or you go ahead and be white supremacy with a tan. But when there's an upheaval or revolution, don't put no Black-owned business in your shop no more. Don't say, oh, we all Black, or we all go on over there with them. Go on.
Well, Mr. SF Black saying, but that's a serious problem within our community. Yes. We've been made dependent on our abusers, and Mr. SF Black, that's an excellent point. Part of that is also, I'll say it again, is we run the culture. Okay, we run the culture, and when we run the culture, we indoctrinate everybody. We don't go, oh, well, you're white, so you're indoctrinated. No, we, to one extent or another, we indoctrinate everybody. And so, and people say, oh, you just hate white people. Well, you can say that, but I actually don't. I have like, I'm like alive on the planet. I can see what's going on here. It's extremely obvious. So yeah, it's a very, we have helpers. We have helpers.
And I mean, it's built that way. It's really built that way because I know when Asians, the Asian exclusion, internment camps for Hispanics, the Wetback Act, and that's not me using a racial slur. That's what it's called, the
No, it's
Wetback
what it's
Act.
right. That's
That's what
she's
it's called.
it's antiquated language because
Yes,
that's what it was. Right. Thank you for clarifying
exactly.
that. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm not using a racial slur. That's what it was, like the
Mhm.
Chinese Exclusion Act.
Mhm.
And all these laws as far as the Native Americans and stuff like that, the things that they would do to them and stuff, the Indian Removal Act. I'm not calling them Indians. I'm just telling you that's what it's called, the Indian Removal Act. And
Absolutely.
along
Absolutely.
with these things goes into this whole bootstrap bullshit. You did not make it on your own. You made laws that you can come over here, take this land, take it, kill the people that's on there,
Mm-hmm.
collect the scalps and skulls of these people, and it's yours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
We were talking the other night about this bootstrap bullshit. And now that we're talking about lynchings, right?
Mhm.
Lynchings were about hatred, but it was about money. Because think about it this way. Think
And
about
power. Yeah. Power and money. Mhm.
Tulsa,
Mhm.
Chicago, Elaine, all of these places, right? Look up
Mhm.
the Red Summer of 1919, right?
Oh yeah.
Look up
Oh
the
yeah.
Red
I have
Summer,
tons on that. Mhm.
right? Look up the summer of 1919. They always attack the business of Black people. They
Absolutely.
always attack the houses.
Mhm.
What they would do is this. What's her name? That idiot from Georgia, Marjorie Green.
Marjorie Taylor
She
Greene.
I she just started using that because of AOC. Marjorie Green. That's who she is, right? So the thing about it is, in that town, they ran all the Black people out of that town that she's from. I think it's
Mhm.
called Forsyth County.
Yeah, I
What
have
do
a
you
list of towns that got people run out. I have
think?
actually, if we get to it, but I don't think we're going to. I have a. I'll spiel off. I don't know if you saw my
Right.
script. You know, my. I have a
Yes,
list of
yes. I'm
all the
about to
things.
stop.
Yeah, no, no,
So
you're okay. You're okay.
right, if you look at all of these towns, right? If you look at all of these towns, they ran the Black people out. What do you think happened to the Black people's houses?
Right. No, they ran them out because they can't. You don't have a house anymore. You leave, they get their house. They get
They get
everything.
the
They get their
house,
stuff.
and then right, and they get the house,
Mhm.
and then what happens is they consider that you abandoned it,
Absolutely.
right?
Oh,
And
absolutely.
then they take over the house.
Yeah, they don't get a cumulative generational wealth. They don't get it's yes, it's all about it all comes down to follow the money for capitalism. Capitalism on steroids nowadays. And um there is this strange, perverse symbiotic relationship that capitalism has with systemic racism.
Right.
So, this is all like been scripted out. I mean, this is some crazy stuff. So today's topic is actually all about what it's kind of for beginners, I guess you could say, people who are just starting to learn about the truth about our real racial history, the truth about systemic racism. And so I wanted to start with that video because it really does tell this lady. You'll hear what she says and you'll know why I think it's important. Anyone with a voice, with an audience who is, a white person has racial responsibility. And that means that you use your white privilege for good. Not the good just for you, not for your good, but for the good of all. And so I want to show this video because this lady, I didn't know who she was, but I was like, damn. And there's a lot going on nowadays with fake liberals, fake Christians, this and that. And this lady addresses it she addresses it head on. And that's what I wanted to do a little bit today before we end our show. So what do you think? And I want to tell you,
Let's do it.
Okay, let me just give a quick. She's going to talk about being a real Christian. She's going to talk about being inclusive, ending the hateful distraction of the GOP and anyone else who's hateful. I don't care what your denomination or party is. This is state senator from Michigan, and she's going to go on to insist that the GOP stop weaponizing these conspiracy theories about Democrats being pedophiles and wanting to groom children and taking critical race theory. It's not taught in school and redefining words to be weapons. She says it's creating an issue that does not exist and focusing on made up theories that are hateful distractions that take from the real issues. Dismantling systemic racism. Not all this blood and pedophiles, and give me a break. It's ridiculous. So I want to play that. And then we can go into talking about what people want to unite. What do you need? I know what white people can do because I speak to white people. I've done many videos on it. And I'll just say really fast, that starts with educating ourselves so we can educate other white people. It is not the responsibility of the people we've chosen to marginalize and oppress to teach us how to act human. No. Okay, that's on us. So white folks, it's on us. Sure, you didn't own a slave. You didn't. But you see, there are after emancipation. We'll get into it. After emancipation, oh my God, some of the worst human atrocities known to humankind were taking place. And if you don't know your real racial history, then you don't understand the depths and of what's going on today, the ramifications of this. Okay.
Can I just say this?
Absolutely.
That everybody romanticizes the North and the Union soldiers.
Oh, I know.
It was both of them.
Yeah.
The North and the South, both of them were committing atrocities against Black people.
Yeah. Absolutely. And people have to understand this, that yeah, absolutely. And I didn't mean to stop you. I just set this up here, but keep. Do you want to keep saying stuff, Anastasia?
No, I was done.
Oh, you're done. Okay, good. I just want to cut you off there. But this video, this woman, I don't know her from Adam. This woman is doing not what white people should do. Okay, what we should do. All right. And that's what's good about this. She doesn't get a reward for it. We should be doing this. Okay. We don't get a prize for doing what's right, for acting like a freaking human. So I want to play
this. The senator from the 22nd district had overnight.
Hang on 1 second.
I didn't expect to wake up yesterday to the news that the senator from the 22nd district had overnight.
Let me just make sure I got it on the right. Boo.
I didn't expect to wake up yesterday to the news that the senator from the 22nd district had overnight accused me by name of grooming and sexualizing children in an email fundraising for herself. So I sat on it for a while wondering why me. And then I realized, because I am the biggest threat to your hollow, hateful scheme. Because you can't claim that you are targeting marginalized kids in the name of, quote, parental rights if another parent is standing up to say no. So then what? Then you dehumanize and marginalize me. You say that I'm one of them. You say she's a groomer. She supports pedophilia. She wants children to believe that they were responsible for slavery and to feel bad about themselves because they're white. Well, here's a little bit of background about who I really am. Growing up, my family was very active in our church. I sang in the choir. My mom taught CCB. One day, our priest called a meeting with my mom and told her that she was not living up to the church's expectations and that she was disappointing. My mom asked why. Among other reasons, she was told it was because she was divorced and because the priest didn't see her at Mass every Sunday. So where was my mom on Sundays? She was at the soup kitchen with me. My mom taught me at a very young age that Christianity and faith was about being part of a community, about recognizing our privilege and blessings and doing what we can to be of service to others, especially people who are marginalized, targeted, and who had less. often unfairly. I learned that service was far more important than performative nonsense like being seen in the same pew every Sunday or writing Christian in your Twitter bio and using that as a shield to target and marginalize already marginalized people. I also stand on the shoulders of people like Father Ted Hesburgh, the longtime president of the University of Notre Dame, who was active in the civil rights movement, who recognized his power and privilege as a white man, a faith leader, and the head of an influential and well-respected institution, and who saw black people in this country being targeted and discriminated against and beaten, and reached out to lock arms with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when he was alive, when it was unpopular and risky, and marching alongside them to say, "We've got you," to offer protection and service and allyship to try to right the wrongs and fix injustice in the world. So who am I? I am a straight, white, Christian, married, suburban mom who knows that the very notion that learning about slavery or redlining or systemic racism somehow means that children are being taught to feel bad or hate themselves because they are white is absolute nonsense. No child alive today is responsible for slavery. No one in this room is responsible for slavery. But each and every single one of us bears responsibility for writing the next chapter of history. Each and every single one of us decides what happens next and how we respond to history and the world around us. We are not responsible for the past. We also cannot change the past. We can't pretend that it didn't happen or deny people their very right to exist. I am a straight, white, Christian, married, suburban mom. I want my daughters to know that she is loved, supported, and seen for whoever she becomes. I want her to be curious, empathetic, and kind. People who are different are not the reason that our roads are in bad shape after decades of disinvestment, or that healthcare costs are too high, or that teachers are leaving the profession. I want every child in this state to feel seen, heard, and supported, not marginalized and targeted because they are not straight, white, and Christian. We cannot let hateful people tell you otherwise to scapegoat and deflect from the fact that they are not doing anything to fix the real issues that impact people's lives. And I know that hate will only win if people like me stand by and let it happen. So I want to be very clear right now. Call me whatever you want. I hope you brought in a few dollars. I hope it made you sleep good last night. I know who I am. I know what faith and service means and what it calls for in this moment. We will not let hate win.
Now, I want to preface this with the idea that Black, brown, indigenous people, people of mixed heritage, non-white, they don't need a hero, okay? They don't need our help, okay? They're going to get their equity and they're going to get their justice. But for the love of God, you don't just stand there and watch and do nothing when you see this happening. You actually give a shit and you act human and you do your part. And tonight's discussion, for the remainder of it, which is not going to be very long because I have to end early tonight, is going to be about, this is for beginners, basically, tonight. What can folks do who want to help? And the reason I played this lady's tape, she wasn't perfect, but you know what? Right now, we got fake liberals. We got bullshit going on. We got fake women's marches. We got, nobody knows our real racial history. If you're white, you're like, think that like people are dancing in the streets and it's just, we don't know shit about our own freaking system of systemic racism and white supremacy. And it is up to us as white people to take some racial responsibility. No. It doesn't mean I did everything. There's no guilt. You didn't do it. But if you watch it, then yeah, you did. You're doing it. You're helping it. You're perpetuating. And if you do nothing, like most white people do, okay? I'm not talking about the people who are Ku Klux Klan members. I'm not talking about the people who do this already. I'm talking about the giant group of white people in the middle who think, it's not my business. Oh, hell yes, it is our business. So, do you want to? I'll shut up.
Oh, yes. Oh, definitely. Yes. So I will say the worst purveyors of that are white women.
Mm-hmm.
White women would rather be in a gilded cage than lose their status. So at the end of the day, the way I look at it is, I forget who said it, but I know Martin Luther King said it. The only thing evil needs to prevail is for us to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
We are not some algebraic equation that needs to be fixed or figured out. All we need is for you to be honest with yourself, honest, and look at society and see and know that you didn't do this by yourself, that you are a part of white supremacy, just like I am a part of white supremacy. Everybody has been indoctrinated. You know what I'm saying? And I put the quote up there by LBJ up there for you. Because I know you love that quote. I love that quote too.
Every single time.
If you can convince the lowest white man, he said the lowest white man, that he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you picking his pockets. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets. Who did that? Donald Trump did that. Nixon did it.
He wasn't the first.
This is
what we do. And you know what? And the wealthiest elites thank us for our service, for our dirty work, and we don't even know we're doing it. And sometimes we do know, but a lot of us don't quite get it. And this is all about economics, and it's complicated stuff. This is not simple stuff, but we have to educate ourselves. We have to. It's imperative that we educate ourselves, and because every single one of us, no matter what the level of active melanin is in our bodies, it doesn't matter. Are a member of a group that's being marginalized? Not every single. Okay, some aren't, but almost every one of us. Okay, I can think of a few groups that maybe aren't. Whether it's your religion, it's your gender, it's your oh my God, let's go on and on and on. Your abilities, your disabilities, your oh my, it's just people. Every one of us needs to learn,
right?
And everyone else needs to teach.
The thing about it is, not to cut you off, all I want to say, everybody pays. Remember we talked about the pools? You don't want black people in your pool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
You don't want black people in your pool. So versus you just saying, hey, black people, let's all be in a pool. Now you've covered up your pool. You've
right. There used to be pools. Right. That's what, for people who don't know what we're talking about, what she's referring to is there used to be swimming pools all over the freaking United States. But the second law changed that said that it needs to be integrated, remember that law? Well, all of a sudden, white folks would rather close the whole damn pool down rather than just act human and swim along with our little friends. Okay. We'd rather hurt ourselves, harm ourselves. Okay. Now you might think, well, swimming's not like, but this is what we do with our votes. This is what we do with everything. We have a serious, sick, depraved love relationship with systemic racism. And we will stab ourselves. We will not get the universal health in health care. We will not get all the things we need. We'll not get the social programs because you know what? As long as black people can't have it, it's like, what's wrong with us? Well, I'll tell you, we have
the Honorable, the Chief Justice.
Oh, sorry about that. I knew if I didn't turn this thing off, it was going to start playing. Sorry.
It's okay.
What is that? I always forget that. But anyway,
and that's why I talk about white women all the time, because white women have so much power the thing about it, but they don't have any internal power. They have power by proxy. But when their husbands are going to these KKK meetings, who do you think is going right along with them?
We marry them.
You marry them.
And they indoctrinate our children. And we say, well, no, you don't marry someone to have them your partner for the rest of your life if they're fucking racist. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's on us. Okay. It's not like the olden days where we were like forced into this marriage. No, we actually get to choose nowadays, most of us at least. Okay. So no, white women of all people should know this, yet here we are.
But think about it.
Absolutely, LaDonna, absolutely.
Think about it this way. I never watched that movie 12 Years a Slave. Never watched it. But it's a part in there where I seen it where Lupita is dancing, right? The white woman gets mad because her husband is enjoying it. Now he's probably sexually assaulted Lupita's character, right? We know he did that. Sexual assault was one of the things. Okay. So she throws something and hits Lupita, and the husband tells her, I'm not selling her. I will send you back to your dad before I get rid of her. So that tells you it was more important for him to own somebody that he could do what he wanted to than be on a level ground with you. Yet you still fight for that stance.
Yeah, it's white women have been, and I don't want to go on and on and on. We have been instrumental in making sure. I mean, I have videos on this that carve out the details of our first ability to own humans was owning humans. We couldn't own property, but we could own a human being. And did we own humans?
Martha Washington owned more enslaved people than George Washington, and white women were vicious slave owners.
Yep.
There's a book called They Were Her Property Too.
And we married these people. We do it still. I mean, I could go on and on. The Casual Killing Act was just for us. The Casual Killing Act was we got that at the same time. That's funny. Was for us so that we could get away with murdering the product of our husband's rape. Okay. That was for us. That was a law made for us. So anyway, we're going on, but yeah. So if I could name one thing, it would be for me talking to white folks is educate yourself in our own real racial history, which is history, but we don't really look at it that way. We're not there yet. We got a ways to go. Should I read this? Just zoop it off all the
Do it.
If you don't know what to study, I have a list. It's not complete. There's a list of things. The following are some government and or citizen-sponsored historical events that have worked to marginalize and torment Black people in every area of life after emancipation. Okay, some during, but mostly after. And there's some vocabulary words that you need to know too. So today's topic was actually, what should white folks do? And it's educate yourself. And I'm going to scream through this, and I'm going to talk fast. I might spit a little. Sorry, okay? Because these are the areas, okay? White privilege, systemic racism, bigotry, human zoos like in New York City. Yes, that's true. Redlining and home loans, legal segregation, racist school tax code laws, Black codes, and I'm going to repeat some things too, so please forgive me. Race is human construct, denying and suppressing the vote, denying education and opportunities, racist welfare programs, the GI Bill after Vietnam, redlining and housing appraisals, redlining in car buying, redlining in business loans, the lie of separate but equal, the slavery disclaimer in the 13th Amendment. Yes, you heard me correctly. Jim Crow, sundown towns, Southern de facto etiquette, whole nother subject. Systemic lynchings, legal protection of clan and clan-type groups. The Compromise of 1877, police brutality, maiming and murdering, and the resulting loss of income, fathers, husbands, medical racism, school segregation, the Devil's Punch Bowl, sharecropping, the Danville riots. Sorry, they weren't riots, massacres. The school to prison pipeline, police as resource officers. That's a whole nother. Every one of these is a PhD thesis. Every last one of these. The infiltration of crack cocaine into Black communities, purposefully, knowingly. I don't know if I have this, but the FBI not doing anything about the infiltration of white supremacists. Anyway, I'll go on and on. Being ill-prepared for the pandemic, another part of systemic racism. Gutting the Voting Rights Act, not passing a federal lynching act until 2022. The Hamburg Massacre, ending Reconstruction after a decade or plus. I can't pronounce this right. The Three Box Daw Massacre, the Casual Killing Act, 1896 Polk County Massacre, the Union Soldiers Massacre at Fort Pillow, Wilmington Massacre, 19th Amendment exclusion of Black women, mass incarceration, 1908 Springfield Massacre, police brutality, murder of Black people, Ebenezer Creek Massacre, Rosewood, Washington, D.C. race massacre, Black Wall Street, complete expulsion of all Black people following towns. New York City's Seneca Village, Portsmouth, Ohio, Pollock, Louisiana, Salina, Tennessee, Comanche County, Texas, Monet, Missouri, Linton, Indiana, Pana, Illinois, Carterville, Illinois, Mena, Arkansas, Pierce City. And these are just the ones that are noted. Pierce City, Missouri, Decatur, I don't know how to pronounce that, Decatur, Indiana.
Decatur.
I wasn't sure. Decatur, Indiana, Vienna, Illinois, Joplin, Missouri, Harrison, Arkansas. I'm almost done. Marshall County, Kentucky, Anna and Jonesboro, Illinois, Fourth County, Georgia, where 980 Black residents were booted out. East Street, Louisiana, Illinois, 250 Black workers were killed, 6,000 homes destroyed. Manhattan Beach, California, where Bruce's Beach was taken by eminent domain laws. 33 African-American legislators were expelled from the Georgia legislature in 1868. Compulsory sterilization, the Memphis Massacre, abortion clinics in predominantly Black communities, New York City draft riot and massacre. Canadian scholar Adam Jones characterizes the mass death of millions of Africans in the Atlantic slave trade as genocide, 15 to 20 million deaths. New Orleans Massacre, Tulsa Massacre, Tuskegee experiments that lasted till the friggin' 70s. The murder of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. and many others. The attack on, I don't know how to pronounce this, maybe you do. The attack on Apalachicola River. Right-wing campaign to block teaching for social justice, blocking teaching of racial history. And we could say blocking. St. Bernard's Parish Massacre, Colfax Massacre, White League's attack in 1874, Vicksburg Massacre in 1875, Clinton, Mississippi Massacre, and more and more. And I know I've skipped things, but that's what we need to do, is learn our real history that have been whitewashed away or just disappeared. So white folks, you want to do something, learn the truth and teach that truth to other white people.
Facts. So a resource for everybody is the Equal Justice Initiative. You look up Equal Justice Initiative or EJI.com. They have a calendar, a day by day of everything that happened in United States history that affected everybody.
Can you post that? Any chance?
I will post that.
Or send it to me, I'll do it.
Right. What my husband brought up is Freedmen's Village. Freedmen's Village is now, I forgot the cemetery, the war cemetery in Washington. Oh my God. What is it called? Angry Soccer Mom?
I'm like completely being weird.
I just forgot. Yeah, EJI.com. They also did Arlington. Sorry, thank you, babe. Arlington National Cemetery was an actual freedmen's village. They took it away from the Black people, and versus the Black people having a place to be, they made it into a cemetery.
Yeah, you know, and I skipped so many things.
Yes, I mean, a lot of them. I like the fact that you did it like that. But the thing about it is, what we're going through right now, this is why they don't want to teach Black history or anybody's history.
Absolutely.
Because they have to teach this.
Yeah. Well, we don't want the truth to be spoken because we don't want it. Because here's the thing. If you do nothing else as a white person but learn our real history, you don't have to be taught, don't be racist. You don't have to be taught systemic racism is bad. Our racial history speaks for itself. You don't have to preach, you know, all this morality. Black history is American history, Liliana. Thank you. And we do not know that as a group in the aggregate, to use a word that we enjoy using on this. Because you see, sorry, I'm just playing with you.
No, I love it. You know, I love to use that in the aggregate.
Yes,
I love it.
True. No, I got it from you. Yeah. And so here's the thing. White folks who are running the show for now don't want us to do this. Okay. They really, really don't want us to do this. And so this has to be a movement that's roots. It can't be like our government's going to get, all right, every teacher has to. No, most teachers, especially white teachers, do not know oh my God, they know like almost nothing about our real racial history. And they're teaching our babies. And I'll tell you, I have white babies and I have brown babies. And every last one of them, I want the truth. Yep. I want them to learn the truth. So
tonight was great. Thank you. Oh my God. I know we're getting ready to get off and stuff like that. Tonight was great. I really love what you did. You know, the thing about it, Angry Soccer Mom, is the things that are in history say that's not about Black people are always about Black people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna give you a couple examples and then we're gonna get out of here. How many people knew that Black people were on the Trail of Tears?
Oh, absolutely. How about that? They're cowboys. They're cowboys.
The cowboys. The reason why they called them cowboys
is because that's a rude.
They called Black men boys
to demean them.
To demean them. Over 40% of cowboys were Black.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk about the situations in Florida. You know why Florida is the way it is? Because they have a disgusting history of feeding Black babies to alligators. So anytime you see somebody that's going hard to not teach things, there's a reason behind it.
Absolutely.
The thing about it is, this is my last thing about square dancing. I'm gonna tell you, even in New York, in 6th grade, we had a dance festival and we had to learn the square dance. Did you know that?
5th grade. And in California, it was 5th grade and it was like mortifying. But yeah, we had to
exactly. But do you want to know why you had to learn that?
Oh, I bet I know, but I'm going to have you tell everyone.
Okay. So basically what happens, square dancing is the only dance that white Americans have created. That's it. No country music, none of that. Okay? Square dancing was a pushback against jazz. So what they started doing is saying every child will learn square dancing in order to make square dancing a national dance. Okay? So understand that
anglicize things.
The anglicize, the European, they didn't want none of that. So this is why when you see Black people going to the country music awards and they're flipping out.
People are flipping shit. And
you know why they're flipping out? Because we dominate everything. Everything. You said we can't play golf? Bam, who's the top golf person? Tiger Woods.
Yeah. No, it's
tennis is not for Black people. Who's dominating tennis?
Right.
Speed skating. Who's dominating speed skate? Every sport, even bobsledding, we taking it. Done. And that's what they're afraid of.
The bottom line is, despite all these things that I've just listed, and I could list 1,000 more probably, look what Black folks have achieved. Even with us trying to hold them down, kill them, do whatever it takes. And so, yeah, white people seem to be a bit afraid. And we're most afraid that when you guys are the actual majority number-wise, that you might consider treating us the way we've treated you. That's our biggest fear. So,
boo, tomatoes.
What does that mean?
What? Boo, tomatoes, tomato?
Yeah.
You couldn't even do. Okay, first of all, let me tell you something.
What does that mean? Like, that means no.
Boo, tomatoes. We were never worried about white people. Y'all came, we could pick fruit. We have diamonds, gold, everything. Africa was always the prize. Our resources and the people. What am I going to do with an enslaved white person? You're going to burn outside. You're going to feed me unseasoned food. Are you crazy? Why would I? What are you going to do? You're going to put raisins in everything? No, you can't teach me how to dance. You can't teach me how to play music except for square dancing. Everything you do is unseasoned. And this is the thing. There is no white culture. There is no white culture because everything you've had, you've stolen from everybody. Everybody. So what are you going to give to me? This is why I tell people I don't want to be equal with white people. Because in order for me to be, and I don't mean individual white people.
Talking about the system.
On a macro level. I don't want to be equal with you because in order for me to be equal with you, I have to do what you do. I'm better than you. I don't want to do what you did. I want everybody to get an A+.
Take the high road, right?
I want everybody to know how to swim. I want everybody to be healthy and educated because an educated society is a better society.
Absolutely. I totally get what you're saying. It makes sense. We're always talking, unless we name names, on the systemic level. We are not blaming, if you're a white person watching, we don't know you. We don't know you.
We don't care.
It's not about us as individuals. And we like to think it is, but it's not. It's about a system we were born into. And each individual, if they just would do a little bit more, and I promise you, and we won't get into this because we got to end the show tonight.
Yes.
White folks, unless you're a billionaire, all this justice and equity benefits us too. Okay? Yes, you heard me correctly. So tonight's show, the main point for people who view it later on is that if you are a white person, okay, you know that term we made up, white, that's a made up term, but whole nother story. Okay, I can't veer off. Use your white privilege to do great things for everybody, and it'll come back tenfold to you. Okay. That's one thing.
I love you, angry soccer mom. But you know what, Dragon Soldier? It's not that I don't season my food. I have a bad stomach, babe. Anyway.
And I actually don't season anything because I don't cook. I use a can opener. Okay. I'm just saying. Thank you so much, Anastasia, for tonight. And thank you
too. I love you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. You guys are wonderful. Thank you for supporting us. And just please keep supporting what we're doing. We're having a conversation. A white woman and a Black woman having a conversation with a whole bunch. What is that? Your flag? What is?
I'm saging it. I'm saging it. I'm staging it. Staging it. Staging everybody.
Oh, thank you.
It's sage.
Oh, okay.
It's sage. That's all. I'm saging it. I'm saging it. Talk to you later, babe.
Great job. Thank you so much, Anastasia. Good night, everybody.
Of course.